AV Foundation is really hard and there are not many tutorials out there. So in this one, I will show you how you can create a camera with AV Foundation. So you learn the basics of AV Foundations. Alex here from Rebeloper.com, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. So let's open up Xcode and let's dive in. So let's dive into AV Foundation, and what better way to jumpstart into AV Foundation than to create a custom camera. So today we are going to learn how to do just that. Before we dive into it, let me just remind you about Rebeloper.com/mentoring, about that factory. If you have some issues with your code, you can just have a one-on-one call with me, a Zoom call, where we can just talk about it, or maybe I will just fix it. Or if you do want to learn SwiftUI, I will be happy to teach you how to use SwiftUI the proper way. So yeah, I would love to teach more students SwiftUI. So check it out, Rebeloper.com/mentoring. So today we are going to build out a camera app, a custom camera app with AV Foundation. And I just created this AV camera project. It's a brand new project. I haven't touched anything. And you will be able to see, well, check out the GitHub repository, links for the resources in the description. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Of course, yeah, this is in SwiftUI. Hands down, SwiftUI, not going back to UI yet. So we are going to create a camera service, and then we are going to create a camera view, and with that camera view we are going to create a custom camera view. So you can customize your camera view whatever you'd like, and then we are going to hook all of that up on the content view. So we're going to have a button that is going to pop up a sheet with the camera. Of course, we're going to take that picture and we will be moving it into the content view. Basically, that's it. But we have a lot of code to do. So let's just jump right into the Xcode project and let's create our first file, and that will be our camera service. By the way, you will be able to just reuse this in your own project. So there we go. And first of all, let's import AV Foundation. Import AV Foundation. By the way, this will be quite a long video, so go ahead and check out the chapters down below, somewhere here. Yeah, you will see them. Okay, so let's import AV Foundation. Let's create a new class here. So that will be a camera service. And I'll just go ahead and copy this out. So we make this super fast. And what do we need here? Well, first of all, we do want to have an AV capture session. So that's kind of the whole heart of it. Let's just have a little bit more space here so you can see. That will be a var session and of type AV capture session. Where is it? There we go. So yeah, we are going to initialize it. So this is just a property for it. And then we are going to have a delegate. Now, delegate. Okay, AV capture the capture photo capture delegate. So basically that's what we want right over here. This will be the two things that we need to provide for our camera service. Now the delegate is needed in order to propagate our photo/image into our view, the content view. So yeah, that's how we are going to use, that's why we need that delegate. Also, we are going to need an output. So there's an input and an output. Let's just create an output here because the input will be created when we are actually creating the camera. So output right over here, so we can access it not just in a simple function, but anywhere in this class. So AV capture output, there we go. AV capture photo output, sorry, because we do need a photo. Of course, this kind of can be done also for video output. But yeah, let's just stick with the basics because still it's going to be a long tutorial. So then we want to have a preview layer. So let preview layer, there we go. And that is equals AV, I believe capture preview layer, capture video preview layer. That's right, because we are going to see the preview that we are taking a photo of. Now this preview layer will be added onto a UI view controller views layer. I'm just going to show you how to do that later on, but just you know, there will be a little bit of UI kit also here. Okay, so those are the properties that are needed in our capture service. So first of all, let's start this delegate. So let's just go func and let's just call this start, and we are going to add in here our delegate. There we go, and that will be an AV capture photo capture delegate. And also, because I do want to propagate all the errors up to the view, I'm going to have this completion of an optional error. So completion, it will be escaping, of course, and error optionally, and let's just finish up our completion like so. Okay, so that's our start. And here, first of all, we want to set the delegate property from the inputted delegate, and then we want to check for permissions. Now, we need to check for camera usage permission, and for that, before I forget, I will just add that info into the info plist file. Just go here and type out privacy camera usage description, and let's just add a description right over here. Take photos. Okay, so this is what it's going to be presented when the user is asked to allow camera usage. Okay, that's that. Okay, so now we want to check for the permissions, and if no permissions are found, then we want to pop this alert. So for that, we are going to create a private function right over here. Private because we don't want to this accessible outside of the scope of this class. So private func check permission. Okay, and again, I'm going to have a completion, which I will just copy right over here. Okay, so let's just have that function ready. So we want to loop through all of the authorization statuses of AV capture device. So what I'm going to do is just go with a simple switch and then AV capture device, there we go, it's that one, and authorization status. So authorization status for dot video. Okay, and yeah, let's just add those two parentheses, and let's just wait for Xcode to complain about this and add the necessary stubs right over there. So what do we have here? Well, if it's a default, then we want to break, so unknown default. If it's authorized, yeah, we are going to set up our camera. If it's denied, then we are going to break. If it's restricted, then we are going to also break. But if it's not determined, then we want to ask for our permission. And yeah, that's really, really easy with, again, AV capture device dot request access. Yes, request access for video. There we go. And we have a completion, and granted is what we are getting back. So first of all, we want to check if we do have a grant. So guard granted, else we want to return. So it wasn't granted, so we are going to return right over here, and then we want to set up our camera. And because this is on the granted, we are getting back this on the background thread. We are coming back to the main thread with a dispatch q.main.async, and let me just create the setup camera function right over here before I just add in that code. So Again, a private func setup camera, and yeah, let's just have the completions for the errors added right over here. Handling completions, handling errors with completion is really important, because yeah, you don't want to just stall the app. Okay, so right over here, because we are inside the background thread, let's just add in here a weak self. So weak self, and then self question mark, because it's an optional. Then we are going to set up our camera, and completion is completion because it's the same optional error. And also, if we are authorized, then we just go simply set up camera, I just forget the A there, and also here, and the same completion. Okay, so yeah, that concludes the authorization. So next up, we want to set up our camera. So first thing, we want to create an AV capture session. Of course, we are going to add this session later at the end of this function to the session that we added right over here. So it will be available throughout. Okay, so let session equals AV capture session. There we go. So this is a simple AV capture. Now, first of all, we want to make sure that we have a device, and then if we do try to have an input on that device, we are going to add that input on the session. So let me just try type this out. It will be much clearer after you see the whole code added. So this is going to throw, so we are going to have a do catch statement here. And first of all, we want to create an input. So let input equals try. And before we do the do catch, yeah, I told you we do need a device. So if let device equals, and we are going to grab the default device, AV capture device, okay, dot default for video again. So if this exists, then we can do the do catch. So do, again, let input equals, and we are going to try to get the AV capture device input from this device. So AV capture device input, here it is. And for the device, as you already saw, that throws, and we are going to add in here the device. That's why we need a do catch right over here. Okay, for the pattern, well, let's just have this catch right over here, and we are going to complete with the error. There we go. So now that we do have our input, we want to see if we can add an input. So if session dot can add input, this input, then we are going to add it. So session dot add input. Okay, so that's our first thing to do. Then we want to go ahead and create our output. So if session dot can add output, then we are going to add it. So session dot add output. I know it's a little bit tedious, but once you do get it, you will understand. Okay, after that, we want to actually set the preview layer, like set the session to the preview layer. So preview layer dot session equals our session. And maybe before that, let's just have a preview layer dot video gravity to resize aspect fill. Yes, resize aspect fill. Once we done that, we want to start running the session. So session dot start running. There we go. And finally, we want to go and add session to the self session. So just have that added to our session that we declared right over here. And basically that's it. So we now have authorization set up, and then the camera setup. Next up, and final thing in the camera service, we want to capture a photo. And because we do have this delegate right over here, as you recall, we just added right over here and on the start, we just want to create a really small function, func, and maybe capture photo, and with settings, because there are quite a lot of settings, and that's AV capture photo settings. There we go. And yeah, I'm just going to set this to the default, so AV capture photo settings. But yeah, you have a lot of options right over there. So capture photo with the settings, and we just go output dot capture photo. There we go. And we need that settings, so settings, and then the delegate, we are going to use the AV capture photo capture delegate that we have just set up. And because that's an optional, we can just safely bang that out right over here. Okay, now that we are done with the camera service, it's time to create a camera view. Now, I was talking about the preview layer, and we are going to add the preview layer onto an actual UI view controller, which is UIKit. It's not Swift UI. So we do need to create a UI view controller representable, and that is going to be called the camera view, which you will, of course, reuse at your own liking. So let's just create a new file here. And that's a new file, and I will just name this camera view. Okay, so camera view, let's just have more space, and we want to import Swift UI first, and of course AVFoundations. So import AVFoundation. Okay, let's create our struct real quickly. It's camera view, and it is of type UI view controller representable. So UI view controller representable. For this, we do need a type alias. I believe this will just fix that. Yes. And the UI view controller type will be our UI view controller. So a simple UI view controller. Let's just delete this. And then we need to add two things here. And the first one is make UI view controller. Okay, that's one thing. And the second one, to get that annoying error out of the way, is to update UI view controller. Okay, for the update, we don't need anything in this case. By the way, I do have a whole video, 1 hour long video explaining UI view controller representable in Swift UI and vice versa, Swift UI in UIKit. So go ahead and check that out. So we still have something here missing. And for that, we do need to create a view controller. So let view controller equals UI view controller. And let's just return our view controller. Okay, and now this is kind of the basics of UI view controller representable. Now let's see, what do we actually need extra here? Well, there will be quite a lot, but let's start off with the basics. First of all, we want to add the camera service that we have just created. So let camera service, and of type camera service. We are going to initialize the camera service outside of the camera view because we do want to get access to the capture photo outside of our camera view. That's how this camera view is just the camera view, and you can customize the button and all of the other stuff that you might add later on at your own liking. That will be the custom camera view. Okay, so next up, we want to, of course, on the delegate, we are going to get something delegate from AVFoundation, like did finish processing photo, something like that. So let's just create a completion for that, so we can propagate our photo all the way up to our view. So let's just name this did finish processing photo. Okay, and that will be completion. And let's just have, Let me just finish that completion. So right over here, I do want to have a photo object, but I do also want to have errors if they occur. So the result type is best for this. Go ahead and check out the video on the YouTube channel about the result type if you don't know what result types are or how they do work. So this will be an AV capture photo. There we go, capture photo. And the failure will be an error. Okay, so we have this finished processing photo. Great. Now, let's just talk a little bit about how we are going to kind of link the delegate method to our view controller and then to did finish processing photo. So for that, we are going to create a coordinator. So let's just create it right over here after update UI view controller. And this coordinator needs to be a class. So class and coordinator. Okay, and it will be an NS object. And after that, it will conform to the delegate that we actually do want. And that is AV capture photo capture delegate. AV capture photo capture delegate. Okay, so that's one thing. After that, we actually want to add in here the parent, so the camera view, so we can propagate up our did finish processing photo. So let's create a parent here, a parent of type camera view. Okay, camera view, and then let's create our initializer for this. So init, and let's just go parent camera view, and then did finish processing. I would just go ahead and copy this out and put it right over here. Maybe just add it into a new line. Of course, this needs to be escaping, but I will let Xcode complain about this and we will fix that error in just a second. So self.parent equals parent, and then self.did finish. Come on, did. Where is it? Oh, we don't have that just yet. So let me just add this right over here, private, and I just copy this out again. There we go. Private var. Okay, and now we can access it. So did finish processing photo equals did finish processing photo. And now Xcode will complain and we will just fix that. As you can see, at escaping has been added right over there. Really, really nice. So it's taking shape. Now it's time to add the delegate method. So right over here, after the init, let's just add our photo output did finish processing photo. So photo output did finish processing photo. I believe it's this one. Yes. You want to have an AV capture photo and an optional error. Now, if we do have an error, if let error equals error, then we want to go did finish processing photo and with a failure, because of course this is a result type, and error. Okay, and of course we want to return so we don't move forward, because if we don't have an error, we want to go did finish processing photo with the success of our photo. Really, really nice. Okay, so that's it for our coordinator. Now we want to link it, and that's with the make coordinator. So make coordinator, there we go, and coordinator, open parentheses, the parent is the camera view, so we just go self right over here, and did finish processing photo right over there. Okay, that's nice, but we still haven't created our actual UI view controller. It's just a simple view controller. So what we are going to do, first of all, because this is a camera, let's just set this to the view's background to black. So view controller dot view dot background color equals dot black. Okay, that's nice. So before, yeah, that's our view controller. And now we can add the layer. So first of all, view controller. Now this will be a kind of a tricky one, so I will just type it out first and you will understand. So view dot layer, and then add sublayer. You can see it's waiting for a layer. This is the preview layer that we do want to add, and because we do have access to the camera service, we are just going to grab the preview layer from there. Okay, next up we want to set its frame. So camera service dot preview layer dot frame, there we go, equals our view controllers view dot bounds. Okay, now if you don't know anything about UIKit, this might be a little bit unfamiliar, but yeah, this is basic UIKit stuff. Okay, now before we even create our view controller, we want to start our camera service. Camera service dot start, and we just add in here our well, the delegate actually is the context dot coordinator. I know it's a little bit confusing, but this is how it's all fused together. And the completion, well, we might get back an error, and if there's an error, if let error equals error, then we are going to go did finish processing photo dot failure, and we are going to propagate that error all the way back. I'm just going to add in here a return. Maybe we are going to add some new stuff after this, and we don't want to miss that. Okay, and we are done with the camera view. As you see, it's a little bit complicated with UIKit, but I promise this is the last that you hear about UIKit. Next up is to create our custom camera view. Now, if you just add this right over here on your content view, go ahead, you might do this. You will see the feed. So you will see a preview layer of your camera. Really, really nice. But I do want to create a custom camera view. And for that, we are going to create a new struct. Let's just go right over here, new file, Swift file, and custom camera view. Okay. Or yes, so let's just have this as Swift UI. Let's create a view here. So struct custom camera view of type view, and then let's just go with body. I know I should have used the pre-built Swift UI view builder, but yeah, that's it. So for now, let's just add a Z stack, because I do know that I do want the camera view and then a button above it. So on the Z stack, before we do the Z stack, let's just set up some properties that we are going to use. First of all, here is where we are going to create our camera service. So let camera service, and that is camera service. Okay, next up, because I do want the actual captured image to be presented on the content view, we are going to bind UI image inside the custom camera view, so that state variable on the content view will be updated. So here the captured image will be a binding. So at binding var captured image, and it will be of type UI image. There we go, and optional. And then, because we do want to dismiss this custom camera view, we do need a presentation mode. And that's really simple: environment, presentation mode, private var, presentation mode. Okay, so now it's time to create actually our camera view, and let's just have here some more space. Okay, so well, let's just create a button. That's the easiest part, so let's just tackle that. I want to have that on the bottom in the center. So I'm going to have a VStack and then a spacer. This is plain old Swift UI. Then have a button. There we go. With an action and label. And for the label, I'm going to have an image. There we go. And system name and circle. Let's have a font, because I do want to make it larger. So system size of 72, and then a foreground color, foreground color white. Okay, and maybe let's just have this button a little bit padded from the bottom. So padding and button. Okay, what is the button's action? And this is really nice because we have set up the camera service. We just go camera service and capture photo. We may have some options here for the settings, but let's just go capture photo. Oh, I just realized that I need to rename this, so let's do that. And here we go, capture photo. Next up is to add our actual camera view. So camera view, there we go. And then we are going to add in camera service and did finish processing photo. Camera service, you know, camera service, it's right over here. Did finish processing photo. It's completion, so we have a result of a photo or an error. So we just go result. And then we just switch through that. So switch result. And let's just wait for this to kind of fix itself with the completion. And then if we do have an error, let error, there we go. And we are going to print out our error. Now errors localized description. Most probably you want to have maybe an alert here, but I will just omit this right now. Finally, we are going to have a photo. Let photo. Now this is actually an AV capture photo, so it's not an image. So we want to grab its data and create a UI image out of it. So first of all, we want to check if there is at all some data. So if let data equals photo dot, and I believe it's file data representation. So that would be our data, and then capture captured image. Oh, I just nailed that. So captured image, there we go. Captured image equals UI image. So we want to create a UI image from data and data. Otherwise, we are just going to handle kind of the error. So let's just print out, oh, not there, sorry, right over here. Print out error and no image data found. Now, once this is done, now it's time to put it all together in the content view. So finally, we are going to go inside the content view and let's set this up. Let me just have more right over here, room over here. So what do we actually need? Well, we do need a captured image, as I told you earlier. So we are going to create a private state variable, captured image. By the way, I do have these code snippets. That's how I'm just writing this out really fast. It's a UI image, optional, and default value will be nil. Okay, and second of all is do we have that custom camera view presented? Again, a private state variable is custom view presented. Okay, is custom camera view presented. Let's set this to false. Okay, and now again we are going to have a Z stack because I do want to have the captured image on the background and then that button at the bottom of our screen. So again, a Z stack. And let's take care of the button first. So VStack, there we go, VStack, and then a spacer. It's kind of the same what we did in the custom camera view. And let's have a button here. Okay, now the action is custom camera view presented dot toggle, because we are going to toggle our custom camera view. And then here again, I'm going to have an image of a camera. So image system name, there we go, and camera dot fill, and then font dot large title. Okay, let's have some padding also, because I do want to have it inside a tappable circle. Let's set the background color for that, color dot black, and then the foreground color of white dot white. There we go. And then let's just have a clip shape of circle, clip shape. There we go, circle. Okay, so, and finally, let's just have a padding as we did on the other button also, of bottom. Okay, so I do want to present that inside the sheet, so the custom camera view inside the sheet. So I'm going to add the sheet right over here. I'm going to select is presented, and I'm going to bind $is custom camera view presented, and the content is custom camera view, and I'm just going to bind the captured image. So captured image. So that will just kind of give us back the captured image on this state variable, which we are going to present on the vStack. So if captured image is not equals nil, then we are going to present that image, and that will be a UI image in this case. Captured image, I can safely bang that out because I do know that it's not nil. Let's have it as resizable dot scaled to fill. Okay, and then dot ignores safe area. Okay, otherwise let's just have system background, and I'm going to grab it from the UI colors. So color dot color, not dot, but UI color dot system background, and we are done. Hopefully that's all we have to do. So I'm just building and running on my phone right over here, as you can see, and let me just show you what we got right over here. Well, it's a blank screen, a system background. So if this would be on dark mode, this would be kind of black, and let's just tap on here. Okay, let's just grab that. Well, it looks like I have already added. Let's see what's going on. What is the problem here? Okay, so the issue there was that I didn't launch the check permissions on the start. So let's just go and right over here, go check permissions, and completion will be completion. So yeah, let's just build and run and see how that looks like. Okay, let's just unlock this. And now it will ask, yes, really nice. To take photos, let's tap on OK. Really great. Let's just take that in there. Yeah, and we didn't dismiss that. Of course, you can just slide it down, and there we go. But we should dismiss it. So one final tweak right over here under the camera view. Well, no, the custom camera view. Let me just move these out of the way. When we do have a captured image, we just simply want to dismiss, and that is with the presentation mode. So presentation mode dot wrapped value dot dismiss. Okay, build and running one final time. Let's just see this in action, and just tapping on this, coming up. There we go, really, really nice. Let's take another one. And now let's just go even further. And there we go. Really great. Now you know how to create a custom camera with AVFoundations. Hope you enjoyed this. Now, if you do like my teaching style, go ahead and check out rebeloper.com/mentoring. It's a 1-hour Zoom meeting with me where you can ask any type of questions. If you do like SwiftUI, then we can learn SwiftUI together. Or if you do have a bug in your code, maybe I can help you fix that in a 1-hour session. Go ahead and check it out, rebeloper.com/mentoring. Now, that was a long one, but now you know the basics of AVFoundations. You have built your very own custom camera app. Now, if you did like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I will make sure to check that out. And while you are at it, make sure you hit that notification bell to get notified of these new videos. Go ahead and check them out. They are really, really awesome. They are about Swift UI, Swift in general. And as usual, I will see you in the next one.